Is it possible that a vinyl record, a physical object many industry analysts regard as a symbol of nostalgia, could become a marker of shifting power in the global music market in the 21st century? And if so, why does the name Jungkook appear at the center of this moment, 4 times in a row, in the heart of US retail, a space that for decades has served as the last stronghold of Western music dominance? The question sounds exaggerated, even sensational. Yet that is precisely where the shock lies, because the answer has begun to take shape not through official record label statements, nor through large-scale advertising campaigns, but through empty shelves at Target US 4 times, within a remarkably short span of time. Jungkook, the magnate of the legendary K-pop group BTS, once again proves that his influence in the United States music market has moved beyond what has long been considered normal for an Asian artist. His special edition Arirang Orchid vinyl has sold out for the 4th time at Target US, a fact that initially seemed like routine good news for fans, but has gradually evolved into an industry anomaly that is difficult to ignore. This is not merely about speed of sales, but about a pattern that is repeated, consistent, and, most unsettling for long-standing industry observers, does not occur with other BTS members. According to a post from the fanbase account at Jungkook_Crave_ on Platform X, Jungkook's Arirang Orchid vinyl sold out again on January 28, 2026. The post was immediately flooded with thousands of likes and reposts, not only from BTS fans but also from accounts that closely track movements in the global music industry. The fact that this vinyl has sold out 4 times at Target US makes Jungkook the only BTS member to achieve such a feat. Moreover, he is also the only member who had previously reached 3 sellouts, while vinyl releases from other BTS members have not even reached a 3rd sellout. At this point, the term sold-out king, long used by ARMY, no longer sounds hyperbolic, it is almost purely descriptive. What makes this phenomenon even harder to explain through conventional narratives is its timing. In mid-January 2026, the Arirang Orchid vinyl had already sold out on Weverse US in under 10 minutes, and at Target US in under 5 minutes. This speed marked a first for any BTS member. There were no major television interviews, no live appearances by Jungkook in the United States, and no aggressive promotional push typically considered essential for physical retail success in the American market. At the time, Jungkook was still serving his mandatory military duty in South Korea. By traditional industry logic, momentum of this kind should have been impossible. The Arirang album itself is BTS's 5th album, released in multiple member-specific vinyl editions. Each edition was designed with a personal approach, yet Jungkook's Orchid version appears to possess a distinct magnetic pull. The vinyl includes an exclusive outer sleeve, inner sleeve, poster, and lyric sheet, and is positioned as a Target-exclusive item, while also being available through the BTS official store in Weverse US. Such exclusivity is often viewed as a standard marketing tactic, but in Jungkook's case, it has transformed into a trigger for repeated scarcity rather than a one-time surge. Since its initial release in early January 2026, Jungkook's edition has built a layered sales history. The first sellout occurred instantly on Weverse and Target US. The second followed at Target US within days. The third sellout took place on January 18, 2026, making him the first among BTS members to reach 3 sellouts. And just as the public began to assume the market would finally reach saturation, the 4th sellout on January 28, 2026 extended the record even further, as if demand was not merely sustained, but regenerating. Music industry observers have begun to shift how they discuss this phenomenon. A source from Korea Portal noted that Jungkook's Orchid vinyl has led multiple sellouts for the album Arirang, including selling out 3 times at Target before reaching the 4th. The statement may sound simple, but its implications are far-reaching. In the history of US music retail, it is extremely rare for a physical product by a non-Western artist to generate repeated waves of demand without direct promotional presence. It is even rarer when such a phenomenon is centered on a single individual rather than an entire group. Korean media outlets have started adopting bolder narratives, reporting on Jungkook's extraordinary sales power through rapid sellouts across platforms. Fanbases such as @Jungkook23 have openly emphasized that this achievement positions Jungkook as the most popular, influential, and successful Asian and K-pop individual artist in the United States today. On social media, data from X shows massive celebrations with hashtags like "Sold Out King Jungkook" and "Congratulations Jungkook." Yet beneath the euphoria lies a far more serious question. Is this still merely about fandom, or has it become a signal of structural market change? This is where the narrative begins to shift. For sellouts are no longer just an individual accomplishment, they are a signal. A signal that something is being tested, observed, and perhaps very carefully engineered. When one BTS member's edition consistently outperforms the others in the US market, speculation arises that this is not solely the result of personal popularity, but also a reflection of a larger strategic experiment. Is BTS, consciously or not, remapping how they sell music in America through the figure of Jungkook? Has Target US, with all its sales data and supply algorithms, become an open laboratory for the next phase of BTS's expansion? These questions do not yet have official answers. But one thing is already clear. What has happened with Jungkook's Arirang Orchid vinyl has moved beyond the category of good news. It has entered a space that is more uncomfortable, more challenging, and far more intriguing. Because if these 4 sellouts are not a coincidence, then what we are witnessing is not a peak, but the beginning of something much larger, and perhaps far more disruptive to the old order of the United States music industry. What if the US market has, unknowingly, already given an answer that has never been spoken aloud? Behind the ARMY euphoria, behind the celebratory hashtags, and behind the empty shelves at Target US, there is data. And data, as the American music industry has always believed, never lies. Jungkook's Arirang Orchid vinyl selling out 4 times is not just about the speed of sales, but about the consistency of demand that persists after the initial hype should have faded. In music marketing theory, the first sellout is often linked to the loyalty of the core fandom, the second can still be explained as a ripple effect of continued excitement, but the third and fourth sellouts enter a different realm. Repeated demand from a broader market, including casual consumers, vinyl collectors, and buyers drawn not merely by BTS, but by Jungkook as an individual entity. This is where the striking difference becomes clear. The Arirang album was released in multiple member-specific vinyl editions, a strategy historically designed to balance interest across group members. Yet the market reality says otherwise. Sales data shows that Jungkook's edition is not only outperforming, but creating an unprecedented gap. The fact that other BTS members' vinyl editions have never reached a third sellout at Target US is a variable that cannot be ignored. For industry observers, this disparity is not fandom gossip. It is a structural indicator. Target US, as a mainstream American retailer, attracts a different type of buyer compared to fandom platforms like Weverse. When Jungkook's vinyl sold out on Weverse US in under 10 minutes, it could still be understood as the power of the global ARMY community. But when the same happens at Target US, even in under 5 minutes, the narrative shifts. Target is not an emotional space. It is a mass transaction space, where consumers purchase daily essentials and impulsively add vinyl to their carts. For empty shelves in this space means Jungkook has penetrated layers of the market that K-pop artists rarely reach individually. Korean media has begun framing this phenomenon in bolder terms. Reports on Jungkook's sales power are no longer presented as idle achievements, but as a market phenomenon. Statements from Korea Portal noting that Jungkook's Orchid vinyl led multiple sellouts for Arirang carry deeper meaning. Jungkook is not merely part of the strategy, he is its pivot. In business terms, he is the premium product statistically most capable of driving volume and visibility. Here emerges a question long avoided by official narratives. Is BTS, as a global entity, beginning to view the US market not simply as a collective space, but as a field that requires sharper individual differentiation? Jungkook, with 4 sellouts at Target US, seems to provide an answer that cannot be ignored. Fanbases like at Jungkook23 even explicitly call him the most popular, influential, and successful Asian and K-pop solo artist in the US. This statement, once seen as fan-driven, now finds validation in the numbers. Yet the most surprising aspect is not the achievement itself, but its timing. Jungkook accomplished all this while physically absent from the market, not promoting, and not releasing aggressively new content. In the logic of the old industry, an absent artist should result in declining momentum. In Jungkook's case, Absence only strengthens the myth. The orchid vinyl becomes a symbol of presence that requires no voice, face, or stage. It becomes an object that speaks for itself on American retail shelves. For BTS and their management, this situation is almost impossible to ignore. The United States is not only the largest market, but also the most decisive in terms of global legitimacy. If Jungkook can generate repeated demand individually, this data indirectly offers a new blueprint, a modular approach where individual strength is maximized to pave the way for the group's full return in 2026. This does not mean BTS abandons their collective identity. Rather, it strengthens it in a more strategic and measured way. In this context, Target US transforms its role. It is no longer merely a retailer, but an indicator. Each sellout becomes a small referendum on American market tastes. 4 times the result is the same Jungkook. And when the same result repeats, the industry begins to ask not will this happen again, but what will BTS do with this information? The social media euphoria with hashtags like sold out King Jungkook and congratulations Jungkook may appear as a typical celebration. Yet behind the scenes, this euphoria is paired with cold analysis. In the global music world, moments like this rarely occur without long-term consequences. For sellouts are not the end of the story. They mark the beginning of evaluation, planning, and possibly major repositioning. If the US market has consistently chosen Jungkook, will BTS follow that direction? Or will they use Jungkook to pave the way for something even bigger and more complex? The question hangs unanswered, yet one thing becomes increasingly clear. What appears to be an individual victory is, in fact, testing and redefining BTS's entire strategy in the United States. From a strategic standpoint, this phenomenon provides BTS and their management with a golden opportunity. If Jungkook can generate repeated sales patterns without direct promotion, this can serve as a model for designing a more complex comeback phase. A modular strategy like this allows management to maximize each member's strengths according to their character and fan base, while maintaining momentum in international markets. In business terms, Jungkook has become a prototype demonstrating a proof of concept for a more measured and individualistic market approach. However, this phenomenon also carries risks and dilemmas. An individual standing out too prominently can create disparities in the perception of the global fandom. Other BTS members have never reached 3 sellouts at Target, and this difference could spark heated discussions on social media, even among ARMY. On the other hand, the US music industry may start to view this disparity as either an opportunity or a threat. If a single non-Western artist can dominate an individual market, major labels and traditional retailers may be forced to respond in ways that do not necessarily align with the group's dynamics. This raises questions about how BTS's long-term strategy will be communicated and executed. Will they continue emphasizing individual strengths, or maintain the group's balance as a collective identity? The 4-time sellout phenomenon also carries broader implications for the industry relationship between South Korea and the United States. K-pop has become a global phenomenon, but commercial success in the US is usually measured through charts, streaming, and digital sales. With physical evidence emerging in the form of vinyl selling out within minutes, old standards begin to shift. Jungkook proves that the influence of an Asian artist can penetrate Western market logic, even in physical retail, without major intervention from a local US label. If analyzed, this data could become a blueprint for the expansion strategies of other Korean artists, not just BTS. In other words, Jungkook affects not only sales figures but also industry mindset. Moreover, media and analyst reactions are noteworthy. Korea Portal emphasized that Jungkook's Orchid vinyl has led multiple sellouts for the Erorang album, including 3 sellouts at Target before reaching the 4th. Other Korean media highlighted that this success demonstrates Jungkook's global appeal, with both fandom and mainstream American consumers playing a role. These statements carry serious analytical weight. They not only report facts but begin interpreting their implications for BTS's global strategy and the international music industry. In this context, we begin to understand that 4 sellouts are more than just numbers. They represent a combination of fandom loyalty, carefully designed products, exclusive distribution, and the influence of a strong individual figure. All of these factors work synergistically, creating an unprecedented phenomenon. Even during Jungkook's absence due to military service, this momentum remains, proving that individual branding power can transcend time, space, and even physical presence. Perhaps most striking is how this pattern could serve as a guide for BTS's larger 2026 comeback. If a single member can move the market so strongly, management can design layered strategies, maximizing individual impact to build overall group momentum. Target US, Weverse, and the BTS official store function as a living laboratory, where consumer behavior is tested, analyzed, and applied for long-term planning. This phenomenon is not accidental. It is an experiment quietly reshaping how the industry views international music sales. Ultimately, we must recognize that Jungkook is more than just an artist. He has become a symbol of transition. For sellouts at Target US are tangible proof that global markets can be influenced by smart strategies combining individual reputation, fandom loyalty, and exclusive product design. It opens new perspectives for anyone studying music globalization, consumer behavior, and cross-continental marketing strategies. This phenomenon teaches us that sometimes a single figure can trigger changes far greater than what appears on the surface. Furthermore, this phenomenon raises critical questions for the US music industry. If a single Asian artist can dominate physical sales without major promotion, conventional media coverage, or local campaigns, is the old paradigm of Western label dominance beginning to shift? Target US selling out 4 times becomes a symbol that global consumers now hold power, preferences, and behaviors that cannot be predicted by old models. BTS and Jungkook have exploited that gap perfectly, and the industry is taking note. This is not a coincidence, it is strategy. While ARMY celebrates, analysts are beginning to highlight risks of disparity and pressure on other members, potential impacts on collective perception, and how management will balance attention on Jungkook with the group's overall strength. Yet one thing is clear, for sellouts are not the end. They mark the beginning of a new phase of K-pop dominance in America, where individual figures, fandom loyalty, exclusive product design, and distribution strategy converge to create effects once considered impossible. Jungkook is no longer just an idol. He is an indicator, a prototype, and a pioneer of an ongoing global strategy shift.